reveal just how dire the situation at the southern border of the U.S. really is. Oscar and Valeria's drowning, the loss of their lives, not an isolated case, and it is forcing Congress to act. Late Tuesday, the House approved more than $4 billion in humanitarian aid for the growing crisis. But some Democrats remain divided over provisions in the bill, and the White House threatening to veto it. Well, Democratic Congresswoman Norma Torres voted for that bill. She's an immigrant herself. She joins us now from Washington. And before we get into the machinations of this bill, how it passed, why it passed, and what might happen next, your response to the image, to the video that we've seen of the drowning of this young man and his less than 2-year-old child.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity, Becky. My response is heartbreaking. As an immigrant myself from Guatemala and coming at such a tender age myself here to live with my aunt and my uncle, my father's brother, it's simply heartbreaking. The decisions that parents have to make in the Northern Triangle region of Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras, simply to give their children an opportunity to have a future. And you know, as critical as we are of the Trump administration on the issue of not protecting children at the border and not providing just the basic needs that they need while they are in custody, in our custody, in the custody of one of the greatest countries in the entire world. It is shameful, it is sinful that we are seeing these images that are happening, but also we have to look at the root causes of why people are fleeing that region, and we have to ensure that the world watches and that the world holds these countries and these governments accountable for the corruption, for the drug cartels that they have continued to support that is causing people to lose their lives.
You are making a really good point. After the border aid bill did pass, you tweeted this: as a grandmother, a mother, and an immigrant, I cannot turn a blind eye to the suffering of the innocent children at the border who are going without basic necessities. So today we voted to pass a bill that provides the much-needed medical care and shelter the children at our border deserve. Will they get this money at the border? Will those who are suffering in these appalling conditions get the help they need?
Yes, the bill is a $4.5 billion package that helps to subsidize the cost of the influx of migrants coming to our southern border. The bill also calls out for some basic standards for Border Patrol, CBP, to come up with a plan to improve conditions at these facilities and giving them, you know, an opportunity to do better by these children. What we don't want to see is we don't want to see permanent facilities. We want these temporary facilities to be utilized for temporary shelter that is quality shelter while children and families are being reunited with the families that they have here in the U.S. that are more than willing, I should say, to take care of them.
Look, President Trump says he's not happy with this border bill, the $4.5 billion aid bill, as we suggested, is passed. It's not law yet. The question is, will it survive and will it make a difference? Here's what he told Fox Business News. I'm talking about the president here earlier today.
I'm not happy with it because there's no money for protection. It's like we're running hospitals over there now. You know, people are coming up. What people don't understand is you had separation. Separation's a terrible thing of the families. And I said, well, I'm going to put people together, but it's going to mean more people coming up.
You know, his words will resonate with many people.
You know, the statement that the president made, that we are running, you know, hospitals down there in the southern region, let me tell you, and let me tell the world, that if those facilities truly were hospitals, we would not have had 7 children die in our custody within those facilities over the last 6 months, 6 months alone. So no, President Trump, those are not hospitals, and this Congress is not going to give you not 1 penny for you to have a deportation force in our communities, and will continue to separate our families, working families, and children that are going to school. U.S. citizens' children will be impacted with your immigration force that Congress will not fund.
Congresswoman Norma Torres, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. That humanitarian aid, thank you, will be used at detention centres, or at least this is the intention, along the southern border, where conditions have been described as deplorable.